my email address on it and my extension. So I think it's handy if you can throw it in your wallet and you have it with you, because most of you work and you're not at home to go looking up all this stuff at home. So if you have a question, if you're concerned about your son or daughter, please call me. We only have those phones, and we really can't call out from those phones. So if you really want to get hold of me, at least email me and say, please call me at whatever number at whatever time, and I'll gladly give you a buzz as soon as I get an opportunity, or at least shoot you an email back and say, okay, as soon as I get a chance, I'll get back to you. Okay? So, I would appreciate your communicating with me, especially ninth grade. Ninth grade is tough. It's just, and then of course, I have to say this. The other day, I yelled at my ninth grade. And I don't know if any of you, did your son or daughter come home and say, Miss Chammings yelled at me today? Anybody? Because, I yelled. You never encountered my yelling, did you, when I was a student here? Yeah. They just don't know how to work yet. And I don't mean that negatively. They have to come and they have to learn in this class of 20, because there's 20 kids in this class, so it's a little full in here. They have to learn to come in, sit down, get their homework out, and close this. But that's the hardest thing for them to do, is close their mouth. They just want to keep talking. Do they do that at home? Well, the better thing, they hear the yelling at home. The better thing is they're sitting at the dinner table and they've got the cell phones out. They're texting their friends. Or I don't go there, I don't like kids when they do that. But, so yes, I yelled at your child the other day, and I apologize. But some of them got a little upset, and I think some of them took it very personally. Oh, you can move now. Go. Okay, off. There we go. Okay. I figured I'd use some of the technology your taxologist paid for. Okay, and I'm going to turn off. You don't mind the darkness for a minute, do you? Is it too dark? Your son or daughter should have received a piece of paper that says Introduction to Physical Science. It should be the first thing in their notebook. And what I'm going to do, if you would like a copy of it, is sitting right here. So on the way out, you can take them. If you don't want one, leave it here, because I can always leave for another class to take them. But one of the things that I ask them to have every day is a textbook. Have you seen the textbook? It looks like this. Wouldn't you have died for a textbook in high school? But the thing is, they cost like $60, which is a little, isn't that amazing? It's just amazing to me. But they should bring this home once in a while. They should bring it to class. I mean, look how easy it is sitting around. So it's not that. So they need to have their textbook every day. And they need to have a notebook, which you've probably all gone out and purchased already. And we're going to fill it up as the year progresses. One of the things that you need to understand, too, with your son or daughter, is that they're going to have to take a biology test this year. Have you heard this yet? That's scary, because more and more kids are having to take end-of-year exams. I'm not opposed to it to some degree, but I don't want to teach to a test. Because there's some days kids ask such great questions, it's hard to move on to the next topic. We can all remember that. When we were in high school, we get distracted sometimes with something else. I miss that. I miss having to go so fast and shove the material down the throat because we have to get to the next thing. I feel like they lose out. So what we've decided to do in IPS this year is we are going to teach a little bit of biology at the end of this year. So when they get to biology next year, they're about a marking period ahead. So the notebooks they get now will be used next year as well. So keep that in mind, that if they don't have a science notebook, kind of say, well, where's your science notebook? Especially by the end of the year, the last marking period, because it will have pertinent information in it for the following year. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Homework, here's what I was yelling at them yesterday about. I had 21 students in this class, and it's due when it's due. And I had 3 students with their homework done. You probably don't remember. I don't remember. I got so angry with them. And of course, when I yell at them, I also smile at the same time. I'm not a good yeller. Well, I can yell real loud, but I can't keep a straight face, So I got so mad at them. I told them they couldn't talk, sit here, and the 3 who were done got to go in the back and do their assignment, the next assignment. And then as they got things done, I would call them back to do their assignment. I altered my lesson plans for 2 days simply to teach them you have to be prepared. If you're not prepared in this particular class, you're going to get lost. And some of them were very offended by it. Well, I'm done. What should I do now? I said, well, you weren't done 20 minutes ago when my lesson plan was to do this. So you're just going to have to wait and be patient. And don't talk to me when I'm talking to somebody else. So I guess you experience all this at home, don't you? some of them are raising their hand to ask a question, but they're not listening to what I'm saying. So then they ask me something, and guess what? I just said it. But they're so busy. I'm going to ask a question. Oh, I got a PowerPoint. We're ready to go. Okay. We have course proficiencies, and again, it's another piece of paper that I can give to you. But if you look at some of these things, these are the terms you're going to be hearing this year. Metric review, they all like to say King, Henry. Remember that? King, something like that. Yeah, it's always different. You know, King Henry died drinking chocolate milk. That was the one I heard today. I'm not going to drink chocolate milk anymore. But, you know, I was like, okay, if that's the way you remember the metric system, fine. We'll go through atomic theory. We'll go through chemical formulas. Did I just put the wrong number? Guess what, guys? Hang on. That was the chemistry one. Because I teach chemistry. This is the IPS one. It's not quite as, I'm looking at that going, oh my God, I'm teaching your kids all that? I didn't remember. Listen, if you have a question, please call me, email.